Boom, 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 boom. Ba da 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 da. Getting dark into tired eyes. I wanna be with you, my love. Such a great surprise. I'll be with you, darling, soon. Doo-doo. In the sunshine of your love. Do 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 do. What was that? Cream or Creedence Clearwater Revival? One of them. I think it was Cream with Eric Clapton when he was a young guy. In the sunshine of your love. What's up, y'all? Hope y'all enjoying your lunch. I ain't mean to interrupt it. I thought I'll just chat while y'all chew during this lunch period. And I said earlier I was gonna go and mess with my brunch, but something else came to mind. It was a topic I wanted to speak on, and that is, y'all know, I think his young brother's name was Travis Hunter or something. Y'all will correct me in the chat, I'm sure. Well, one of the top recruits, and it kicked it off with this young brother deciding not to go to the white school, but he chose to go to Jackson State to be with Coach Prime. And then there was another young black man who was a top United States top football recruit who also chose a HBCU. And let me start off with something we've always said about just human beings in general. But in this context, we're talking about racism and how it rears its ugly head whenever something doesn't go the dominant population's way. If you really want to know how someone feels about you, make them mad. And I think we've all experienced that. Everybody's real cool, but as soon as you anger them in a way in which makes them feel uncomfortable, they tell you everything you never thought they thought of you. And so these little white coaches, their names elude me right now, but y'all can look it up. From these different schools, have been saying some real, hating things about HBCUs. You know, like, wow. So this is what you want to do. We got all these nice things here. We got practice facilities. We got all kinds of money for you. You're going to go down there and move to El Segundo with Fred Sanford. That's pretty much what they think about HBCUs. And people like me and a lot of other black college graduates have always pushed, don't dump on our schools. We're talking now, this is what we're saying to other black folks. Don't dump on HBCUs. Because one for HBCUs, you wouldn't have had NFL players in the beginning. Where do you think the first NFL players came from? From black colleges. And they're all in the Hall of Fame, and they made history. And so one thing about what that young brother said, he said HBCUs have a rich history, a rich culture. And he said, and I want to be a part of that future. I thought that was very profound what that young brother said. The message is getting to these black players, But let me tell y'all something. Because I've been reading the posts and checking out the comments and stuff about, on these black alumni pages, our own, as well as other, comments from other people who attended HBCUs or who are allies of HBCUs. We tend to really celebrate what we think is a win. It's just a small battle, but the war is about to be waged against HBCUs. We thought Joe Biden hated HBCUs. Some of you claimed that Trump did, but nah. You about to see who really hates black folks and who really hates HBCUs and how they really feel about black athletes. We've always said that black athletes have nothing but utilities for these white schools. They've made them billions of dollars. And I'm going to throw a little history in this. Some of you probably didn't know this, but do you know that when plantation owners lost slaves, they had insurance on them, and the United States government or an insurance agency, some of these very insurance agencies that we get our car insurance and house insurance from, they're still around today, but they had insurance on the slaves, and if they beat them to death, worked them to death, or just flat out killed them, they got compensated monetarily for their loss. And don't y'all know, these white coaches have gotten together and they're going to get the laws changed where this thing about this so-called transfer portal that these little black dudes have been taking advantage of, a couple of them have used it at Grambling and left Grambling, but also using them at white schools because Grambling received some of Southern Mississippi's players. That quarterback we had, that brother was pretty awesome. Led us to a couple of championships, that young brother. He came from the bench off of Southern Mississippi, or Ole Miss, one of them. And so now they're using their transfer portal against the white system, and they're upset about it. For those of you who don't think racism is alive and well, I mean in the sense that because you got a white girlfriend, you got mixed kids, It's systematic, and it's ingrained in the soul and the DNA of the very people who benefited from racism, white supremacy. And these white coaches, they are highly upset that they good, athletic, well-bred, buck black players are decided to go home where it all began for black players. That is at the HBCU. And they don't want to see the Gramblings and the Jackson States and the Southerns. They're really mad at Deion Sanders for being an inspiration to get more retired NFL athletes to come and contribute to HBCUs. Oh, they're pissed. And so we have to keep our minds and our eyes open because the shenanigans are about to start. They haven't already. See, I learned about racism and white supremacy in the 90s when the scholars were teaching us. Well, a lot of them were still alive. See, this woke stuff, that doesn't teach them about the true essence of racism, white supremacy, and the behavior of the white racists. And also of the black bootlick. However, whatever teaching and learning is getting into these black players, I salute you. And so while they're defecting from these white plantations, I need us to support them and say, you know what, you didn't make a mistake. We're going to support you. We're glad that you're here. Thank you for coming. We hope you convince others that HBCUs is where you need to go because, like I've always said, people talking about what's needed at HBCUs. You know what's needed at HBCUs? Customers. And with those guys, with Coach Prime at Jackson State brought more customers, which brings more dollars. And they know that these black players bring billions of dollars to these big old white schools that even black folks wear their jerseys, wear their caps, wear their car banners and stuff on these white schools, but you treat HBCUs like they're the side chick that you don't want anybody to know about. So I appreciate these black players, top tier, not just bench riders, but American all-star top tier black players are deciding not to go to the big white schools. And so that's why the big white schools always go to the ghetto. They go to the impoverished hood to go get these athletes because they know they can dangle their carrot. But now two things have happened. The players can now get paid for their likeness, their names, and their likeness. White colleges didn't like that. Number two, they were making tons of money off their jerseys, their tennis shoes, caps with these guys' names on. It's not even the NFL, it's college. They're making billions. Number two, this transfer portal. Oh, it's got them shook up. And so I hope this jolt of HBCU pride continues to go, and I hope a lot of us take our schools seriously because they really don't want them open. And for the longest time, I'm still of the belief that a lot of us don't want HBCUs open. Now, I'm not going to just think that these white coaches or these white schools are upset. There's some black folks who are mad. Why are you going to Grambling? Why are you going to Jackson State? Why you go? How come you don't go to the University of Memphis? How come you don't go to Kentucky State, University of Kentucky? How come you don't go to Alabama instead of Alabama A&M? It's some black folks. But anyway, if y'all want to know what racism really is, let me tell y'all something, black folks who's supposed to be really smart. See, if you want to see what racism really is and what he or she really looks like, start doing stuff for yourself. Not only that, start doing stuff for your own black race, and then you'll see the racism. Then you'll see the Stevens from Django pop out on you. And that's what it's about. So a lot of you say, we don't want to be a Black Wall Street because all they're going to do is tear it back down. Challenge me to it. Rebuild Black Wall Street in your hood. Give back. Put the schools there. Put the community centers there. Put the research institutes. Put the hospitals. Put the grocery stores, the department stores in your neighborhood. Then you'll see. Because a lot of we just talk about it. But if you want to see what Malcolm X saw, you want to see what Marcus Garvey saw, you want to see what Fannie Lou Hamer saw, you want to see what Ida B. Wells Burnett saw, start doing for self. And that's what those black players have done. They decided to do for self, and Massa is pissed. Y'all enjoy the rest of your lunch. I just want to just say what's up as y'all crunch down your delicious morsels of food that you brought for lunch today. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace. Rico the Opinionist. I'm out.